my top book recommendations for teens to read this summer. It is so hot. It definitely feels like summer right now, so I'm filming downstairs, but I wanted to share all of the book recommendations that I have for teenagers or parents of teenagers that I would recommend to read this summer. They either have summer vibes or they are just good books. Maybe you want to read because you have more time, you're not in school. So I'm going to go by genre, and then I do have one book series that I plan to read this summer that I want to share with you guys on my TBR. So let's get into it. I'm going to start with Regency, historical, and then I'll go into like contemporary, fantasy, dystopian, and we'll end with that. So excited to share these books with you guys. I will write them all down below, and any other young adult videos that I'm recommending books in, I'll link those videos down below too. There might be some crossover, but I wanted to at least have one summer recommendations for just specifically teens. If you like to read young adult, you're welcome here as well, even if you're not a teen. And if you're a parent of a teen, I will try to explain exactly what the content is in these books, if there's language, and if there's spice. So we'll get into it. My top recommendation for Regency is Edenbrooke by Julianne Donaldson. This is definitely teen friendly. It kind of reads younger as well. The main character, I think she's around 18, but she reads young. So I do think that teenagers could relate to her. She is a little bit naive. She's never been in love before, and you follow her in this journey of becoming friends with a guy and then falling in love with him. She's a twin, so you do see a bit of a sister dynamic. She lost her mom when she was young, so there's a little bit of grief there too. So there's a lot of different things going on, but it definitely centers around the romance, the relationship between the main character and this guy. And it's just a fun, easy, pleasant story. It just makes me happy. There's no language whatsoever. There's like, I don't even think there's kissing. They maybe kiss once. Like the spice is very much zero, and there's no content to be aware of. There is an abduction, and there is a bit of like a forced kiss in that situation, but it doesn't go past anything super mild. So I would say this is very safe to get your teens to read, and it's just a fun, happy story and fun to read in the summer. My last historical recommendation is When the Day Comes by Gabrielle Meyer. So this book is not young adult, it is adult. The girl is 20, I believe. This is a series and it's ongoing, but there's a lot of books out already. I think there's like 6 books, maybe even 7 books out already. So definitely a fun series to get into for your teens. I've read up to book, I don't even remember, 5, 6, something like that. And there's been no on-page spice, no language, and really strong faith content. I do think that this would be appropriate for teens. In this first book, the content to be aware of is that there is a sexual assault scene, and it happens twice. It's very, very briefly described. It's like less than a paragraph, but you know what happens. So if you don't want your teen to read that, then don't read this first book. Unfortunately, it's odd because the rest of the books don't have anything close to something like that, but it's just this first book. So it is what it is, but if you can at least read past that, like the faith themes are so strong in these books. And it's fun because this is a dual timeline, kind of like time jumping book. You follow a girl who has the ability to jump between times. She actually just lives one day in one time, and then when she wakes up, she's in the next time, and she goes back and forth until she hits 21, and she has to pick which time she wants to stay in. And it's a gift from God. They just know that that is a thing. It's not really described past that. Each timeline, the girl has to really wrestle through different things that God is teaching her, ways that she's not trusting him, or just how she is impacting other people in their lives. And it's just very well done in the sense that you follow this character really working through tough things. Like they're not easy stories, meaning like there is depth to them. And yeah, it's also fun because you're in a historical time period, you're learning about what it was like in that time. There's some times where I'm bored, to be honest, where like the timeline is not what I'm interested in. But if your teen likes reading, or if you are a teen that likes reading historical time periods, each book follows a different time period, and some of them are very interesting, some of them are not as interesting to me. So you might find something that you like in there, but I do just want to say that this is a series that I would recommend to teens, and it's nice that it's Christian fiction and that there's really strong faith themes in them. Okay, switching into contemporary fiction. So this is a book that I'm really excited to talk about on my channel, and this will be the first video that it appears in, so hooray. The Wish by Nicholas Sparks. You guys, Adults watching this as well. This is a very, very good book. I gave it 5 stars. I read it at the very beginning of June, so it's going to be in my June wrap up, and I can't wait to talk more about it, but you're going to hear all about it right now. I think it's a good book for teens because the past timeline that you're following, it's dual timeline. The past time you're following a teen and her friendship with another teen. So I believe they're 16 or 17 in the past. So content considerations, you guys. For this book, it does follow teen pregnancy. So you're following mainly this older woman who she recently found out that her cancer came back and that there's nothing that doctors can do. So she's just like deep in reflection because of that. She does own, I believe it's a bookstore, I kind of forget. She owns some kind of shop that she hires a young man to work for her in, and he becomes really curious about her and starts asking her questions about her life. And that leads her to telling him her life story. And her life story is really that she got pregnant when she was a teenager and the journey of what that happened, what that did to her. It was so well written, so emotional, so deep. And the characters are Catholic, so there is some faith in there. I wouldn't say it's a fully like a come to Jesus faith moment in this book, but nothing about this was anti-Christian or mocked it or was anything that I would caution you guys. I would say that it's just a true story of what people like this would go through in this situation. And it was so beautiful. It was really well written. Now, I don't believe there's any language, but check my Goodreads review because I don't exactly remember, and I'm sorry about that. But if there is language, it's very mild because it isn't even about that. And even though this follows a pregnancy, there's no spice in this book. Like, it just kind of happens in the past and she is pregnant. That's all you know. And I just loved this book so much. The romance in it is heart aching and it's very good. So I do recommend this. If you're an older teen, you probably would connect with this a bit more. And yeah, I just do highly recommend this. I loved it. Similar age group that I'd recommend is Just Friends by Haley Pham. I know I've talked about this kind of a lot on my channel. I do have a whole rating vlog for this book too. So I will just briefly say that I think this is very appropriate for teenagers to be reading. It follows a girl who's in her early 20s, so it's more probably late teen friendly. There's no language in this book, there's no spice in this book, and there's no content that I would caution. There is grief because there is a death of a family member, but otherwise this was brilliant. I really liked it and I do highly recommend it for teens. A more lighthearted recommendation, but still has a lot of grief. There seems to be grief explored a lot in young adult. Love and Gelato by Jenna Evans Welch. This is a recent read for me and I really, really liked it and I highly recommend it for teens. There is no language in this book, there's no spice, and it does follow a grief story because this girl's mom passes away at the very beginning and she is broken from it, and she never knew her dad, but her mom's dying wish is for this girl to meet her dad in Italy because that's where he's from and where he lives. So she moves in with her dad for the summer in Italy to kind of just discover more about her family. And she makes friends, there is a romance, and the only content piece is that she does go to a club once, but she leaves right away and it's kind of shown like it's not glorified. She's uncomfortable and she doesn't want to be there, so I was fine with that. I just really liked this book and I think it's a great summer read because it's set in Italy in the summer and it was really fun. It is the start of a trilogy and I haven't read the rest of the books, but hopefully they're just as good. I do plan to read the rest of them this summer actually, so those can be added to the TBR. Next up, you guys, I've also recommended this several times, but Room to Breathe by Casey West. This is the best Casey West book that I've read in a long time. It was so good, and this is definitely teen friendly and good for like middle-aged teens. I'd say like 15, 16 and up. This book follows two teens that get stuck in a bathroom together, and they used to be friends, used to be in a relationship actually, and they broke up because the girl just started changing. She started going through some hard stuff and it just wasn't working. And when they're stuck in the bathroom, they like kind of rehash what happened in their past. So there are flashbacks in that sense. And I just loved it. I thought it was so deep and there was no content that I would caution you guys. There was no language, no spice. It was very good. And it does kind of focus around this girl's relationship with her parents, the difficulties there, being a teen, figuring out what your life goal is, what your life path will be. And I just thought it was really well written and well done. So highly recommend that for teens too. And lastly, this is indie, so you can read it on Kindle Unlimited or buy it from Amazon, I don't know, but I did want to just kind of throw this in there because it's been a while and I do think that teens could like this. So it's called The First Taste by Anna Conwell. I read this a while ago, but I think teens would like it because it's very lighthearted. This is like a rom-com. It is brother's best friend, I want to be. No, it's best friend, it's friends to more. It's fake dating. Okay, definitely unrealistic, but yeah, basically this girl has a guy friend that has been her friend for a long time, and she gets broken up by her boyfriend and she's really sad, and her mom is kind of controlling and crazy, and to appease her, this girl wants to have a fake boyfriend and the guy volunteers. So they do fake date and it's just sweet, like nothing serious, right? And they are like in their 20s, I think, but just because of the lightheartedness, I think this would still appeal to teens, and I think the writing is like teen friendly, I guess I'll say. I don't think that there's any like bad messages in this book. It's just for fun, right? And there's only kissing, no language, and it just is a fun book to pick up for the summer. So if you want another option, here it is. Okay, on to like fantasy, dystopian, and then we'll get to my TBR. So the first one I'm gonna say is The Warrior Maiden by Melanie Dickerson. I would recommend this. It is kind of a, I want to say a Mulan retelling. Yeah, it is a Mulan retelling. And if you like medieval young adult fantasy, you may like this. There's definitely no spice and no language. This is a Christian author and she has a whole bunch of like kind of medieval fairy tale retelling-ish fantasy books for young adults. And this is the only one that I've read so far, but I did like it. This girl, she's like a fighter, and so you do see like some war, there's war talk. And there is a romance, but it's very back burner. Like it's mostly about politics, I guess I would say. Think of a Mulan setting, Mulan storyline, and it's just set with these characters. And I'd recommend it to teens. Like it was good. I didn't love it. It didn't blow me away personally, but I do think teens could like it. Okay, and just in case you're a teen and you haven't read The Hunger Games, I really think that teens would like this book. Katniss is such a relatable character, especially as a teen, because she is just trying to figure life out. And she isn't really into romance. So if you're a teen who doesn't like romance as much, or you're a teen who doesn't like romance as much, this one is very mild in it. The whole series is very mild with it. There's no language, no spice in this series, but the content is definitely intense because obviously, if you know the premise of the Hunger Games, the government is controlling all of the poorer groups of people, and to kind of keep that control, they have something called the Hunger Games where they take a boy and a girl kid, basically I think it's 12 years old to 18 years old every year, and they have to fight to the death with one kid standing. So you do see some of the deaths on page, but it's not super gory, and there's a lot of like anti-oppressive government themes in this series, but I do think that it's very thought-provoking and I think teens could handle it. So if you haven't read this yet and you're a teen, I would definitely recommend it. I really love this series. Yeah, so far I haven't seen any content that I would caution parents or teens. So I recommend this. And then also The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni. This one I really loved. This is like true fantasy where there's magic, there's like a different map. I recommend this because I liked that it was really about character relationships, not just romance. Like there was a lot of found family and politics, and this is a little bit brutal. Like there's definitely war and stuff. Some characters die. There is magic, but it's elemental magic. But in the first book, you're following this girl who is in a prison. She's been there for a long, long time, and you just see what happens to her in the prison. And then at the end, like crazy reveals happen. It's definitely bigger than what this book shows, which is fun. So it's a trilogy. There's no language, there's no spice. They do like kiss, but I wouldn't say it's anything like overly graphic. And then there is allusions to a character liking both guys and girls. And then I think that's it. And then like the magic, there is an evil, like kind of sorceress character, but it's obviously seen as evil, and it's like a good versus evil situation. So the good wins, and I'm happy with it. So I'd be comfortable recommending this to teens. I think it was really fun. Okay, another Casey West, Pivot Point. This is a duology, and I think it's her first ever published books. I don't know if they're still in print. It's been a long time. I read this so many years ago, but it is truly so good, and I highly recommend this for teens. I think they'd really like it, especially if you like modern day setting, but like with a twist. So this is where you're set in the normal world, but there are a group of humans that have extra abilities or powers, and the government knows that they exist, so they've created like a secret community where they all can live and like be their normal selves, but they have to stay in that community. They can't leave. And this girl's ability is that she can see into her own future, and I forget for how long. I think she can just see like what her life would look like if she made a decision. So she can see two different options. At the very beginning of the book, her parents are getting a divorce, and she has to decide if she's going to stay with her dad or her mom. Her dad? No, her mom. Oh, it's been a while. I forget. It'd probably say on the back. Okay, I don't remember exactly which, but I feel like it's the dad leaves the complex and the mom stays. She has to decide, is she going to leave the complex or stay in the complex? And you actually see dual timeline of what would happen if she picked either one, and you go back and forth, and then the ending is so good. And it's a duology, so you do pick up where this one leaves off in the second one. And yeah, no language, no spice, and there is like teen drug use, but it's not glorified, and there's like kind of stalkering as well. But I would be very comfortable recommending this to teens, so highly recommend. It's a fun one. And lastly, this is another, like, it's for a particular teen reader, The Natural series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. There is no language and no spice in this series, but there is like pretty intense content, so I want you to be aware of it. But you follow these characters that are teens, and they are working for the FBI because they have special abilities, and it's really fun and interesting. And they're working in the serial killer section of the FBI where they're trying to track down serial killers. It's a hard word to say. And I'd say the first two books are fairly mild-ish. Like there's abduction, there's blood, there's crime scenes, obviously serial killers. There is talk of like certain serial killers being obsessed with women. There's like cult themes, kind of like blood sacrifice themes. I think that's it. So, oh, and gambling, that's another one. So definitely like a lot of themes that like maybe if they were deeper and like more pushed, they wouldn't be appropriate for teens, but it's mild in my opinion. And I would just say that certain teens could read this and enjoy it. And I don't think it'd be wrong or bad. I don't feel like a certain agenda necessarily is being pushed, other than maybe with that girl character who likes girls. But it's barely explored. It's barely a part of the story. So I would be totally fine with recommending this, and it's fun, and it's 4 books. The last book is definitely the most intense, so prepare yourself, but still, I just really loved it myself as an adult, so it might work. It might work for some of you. Okay, that is it for the recommendations. I'll write them all down below, you guys. I hope that this was helpful. The series that I want to start and read this summer is the Grisha verse. So Shadow and Bone is the first book by Leigh Bardugo. I've never read this book, never seen the TV show, barely know anything about it. I know that this is a trilogy, and then there's a duology as well. Like I've seen Leigh Bardugo. I think she publishes adult books now, and those books look very, honestly, evil and nothing like what I want to read. But Shadow and Bone was very popular when I was in university, or maybe even when I was a teenager. And I just never read it. I never got to it. I don't know, it didn't interest me for some reason, but it is a series that I've been meaning to try. And I definitely do want to try Six of Crows as well, the duology, because I hear that's even better and that people really like it, but I want to start with the original trilogy. So I'm going to be doing that, and I'll film a whole reading vlog for the whole trilogy, hopefully. I know I haven't had a ton of luck reading young adult books that I missed out on, that, you know what, guess I wasn't missing out because I don't like them now. Maybe I would have liked them if I was younger, but I'm reading these books to give teens and parents like true content ratings and reviews from a Christian perspective. And it's just to be helpful. It's not to call anyone out. It's not to shame anyone for liking these books. So just saying. But yeah, I got this book from the library, so I'm going to be reading it soon because I need to. Otherwise, I got to return it. I hope I like it, obviously. I really do. I don't know anything about it, and I kind of want to go in blind. So that's what I'm going to do. If you have read it, let me know if you liked it. Okay? And I think that's it. I'm just looking at my list. If I missed anything, that's okay. Yeah, thanks for watching, you guys. It's so hot, so I really need to get out of here, but I appreciate you guys. I am here to help. I'm doing the best I can reading young adult books to give you guys options. Thank you for trusting me. And if there's anything that I missed in these books that you think is not appropriate, I apologize. I'm doing the best I can. I'm still human and my convictions might be different than yours, but it's just a starting point, right? And you won't truly know until you try it for yourself. But hopefully this is helpful. And yeah, I love you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye. That spider stays where he is. We'll be fine. How do they always find their way in? I am sweating. We don't have AC in this house, so yeah. Brutal, man. I do like the summer, but don't love sweating so much.